This is a video of Dr. Phil on the lockdown damaged. And I was somebody in a 38-foot triple slide fifth wheel for 2 weeks to slow the spread that ended up being 2 years to steal my muscles and ability to walk. And this is real. And their bioweapon took my ability to walk after a stroke.
When this COVID hit, it was pretty frenetic for everybody. In the beginning, nobody knew what was going on. And when they said, we're gonna take a time out here, we're gonna ask everybody to really stay home, withdraw, shut the door, and that's gonna slow the roll. That's gonna slow this thing down. You remember that? And then all of a sudden, a few weeks turn into months, and months turn into 2 years. You expect there will be a plan, a readiness plan, that takes into account all the collateral damage that can come from doing something like that. And then you start seeing all of these problems, and you hear people say, well, we did the best we could with what we knew. No, they did not. They knew better. And if they didn't know better, they damn well should have known better. That's what they're paid to do. When I stepped up in the beginning and said, this lockdown, this quarantine is going to create more problems with quality of life than that COVID is going to do in taking lives, people looked at me like I was insane. I got criticized, called a heretic, said, well, what is he talking about? I'll tell you what I was talking about. I was talking about exactly what happened and is happening. And what's more, when you shut down the schools, the day you shut them down, you better have a plan for reopening them. I didn't see a plan for them to be reopened. And we have an entire generation that is suffering from developmental gaps, educational gaps, mental and emotional challenges, and still, there's not a good plan to close those gaps. And my concern is, when the next pandemic turns the corner, who's got the plan then? What was learned from this? Because you don't hear anybody talking about it, do you? You don't hear anybody talking about it, but I'm talking about it because I want to make noise about this. I want to force people to say we need to get ready for when this happens again. And I'm not some conspiracy theorist saying they're coming to get us and lock us up. But I'm saying we need to think about whether we're going to rely on science and how we're going to react when the government comes in and starts telling us what we can and can't do. I think we need less government. I think if they would step back, we tend to have a way to work these things out.
The NIH and NIAID have been studying for 20 years what happens to young primates when they are separated from their peers. And what Dr. Fauci and his group knows is that they bite their own digits off. Number 2, 2 months in solitary confinement considered by the UN is torture. They put people like me in solitary confinement for 2 years, and I was in a fifth wheel motorhome for 2 years after a stroke.